and we need to drink in the office. And we are on that floor. But the next door, the next building is a bar. So we call the barmaid. We roll down the basket with a rope. She puts alcohol. We bring it. In a government office, in the post office. When I'm hungry, I drink. When I'm ugly, I drink. When I'm happy, I drink. When I'm disappointed, I had to have a reason to drink. And during our wedding, I don't remember much because we were all drunk. Me, my husband, the maids, everybody. So we fight.
On the wedding day.
We fight before the wedding, the day before. We fight during the ceremony, the evening ceremony. And we're on our honeymoon. I remember another story. I would decide the overtime in the bar. And my boss would approve in the bar. It was a beer state. It was a beer country. Our marriage ended when we wedded. Because our marriage, I don't think it had any substance after we did our wedding. Because the violence, it became too much. And I think in 3 years, we had separated.
You're watching High Step TV.
Are you married? Or you're dating? Do you even have plans of ever getting married? Or you are single by choice? Join me on YouTube channel High Step TV as we dive deep into matters relationships, marriage, and parenting, and how these bonds affect our relationship with God. Let us learn together on ways we can improve and build strong, healthy relationships in the right foundation.
The Bond Show. Beautiful people, godly bonds.
There is a hope that you can recover from alcohol, and there is a hope that your own, whom you have been praying for, wishing them well, they can also stop drinking and using drugs. I understand you may have lost so many things due to drink. Some have lost their family, relationships, business, jobs, and you wonder how this can stop and even if it can happen, because actually most people who are addicted to drugs, when you look at them, you can lose hope in them, but there is a hope. Let me greet you, all our viewers who are watching. We don't know where you are watching us from, but we believe you have just tuned in, and here we are going to have a powerful testimony from our sister, our mother, and or you might even be a shosho, I don't know. You looks too.
My grandmother of 5.
Wow, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. She's going to share with us because she's one of those people who who have been in alcohol. Am I right? And because now she's sober now, very sober, and she has been sober for how many years? 31. Now you can, you see, it is possible. She's going to share with us. Just stay tuned and listen. You can even ask questions. We leave her number on the video, and if there is anything that you are adapting about alcohol and those people who are addicted to drugs, you can reach out to her and ask her, because I know you might have a husband who is struggling, a wife, you have children who have just been introduced to drugs, but you wonder if there is a hope for them to come back to become sober. It is possible. Let me welcome our sister, our mother, and I have known that she's also a professional counselor. You can imagine a counselor in the bar. But anyway, she's fine now. She's going to share with us. She will start with her introduction, and then all we are going to hear is testimony from her background. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Agnes Wambui. I was born in Nyeri, in Central Province, and I was born in a Christian family. We are Catholics, and as you know, alcohol is not prohibited in the Catholic environment. So my father used to drink. My mother did not drink. I didn't see her, but my uncles and my aunts drank, and they misbehaved. I started seeing alcohol bad behavior when I was 8 years. That's when I remember when I used to see my uncles, my aunts, and they are also church leaders, coming drunk at home. I used to live in a big, my father used to host the whole family from my mother's side, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the behavior. I didn't like what I saw, and I also didn't like. I was eighth born. I'm an eighth born in my family, and I used to ask questions, and I used to be beaten a lot, and they told me that I'm naughty. So whatever I used to see, I could tell myself, oh, I was beaten. Next time I won't talk about it. But it hurt me a lot. I remember that when I was in primary school, my father was one time a headmaster in my school. Actually, when I was joining class 1, it was my father who was the headmaster.
Mm-hmm.
So he used to beat us at home for behavior, bad behavior in school, and he would also beat us in school for bad behavior at home. So I was confused and also in a lot of fear and disappointment. I didn't know now, is it my father I'm dealing with or the teacher? And this really gave me a lot of confusion and a lot of hatred I remember my father, he used to he was a preacher in the church, and he used to preach love. My mother was a choir master. She used also to preach love. But when we came home, when he drank after the service, he would chase us away. And we would sleep in the coffee plantation.
Oh.
And then in the morning we would come, we are supposed to obey our elders. So whatever he said, we would do. But now this drunk of last night registered somewhere in my head, and I hated alcohol. And I became rebellious. But because I was I was good in mathematics. I was sharp. Mm-hmm. In fact, I was top 10 always.
Mm-hmm.
I concentrated on my education so that sooner I leave this home, this home, the better. So immediately I finished Form 4. It was, I did exactly that. I left home. My father used to, he was very ambitious about education. So we had good education. Actually, in class 5, I was taken to a boarding school so that I may, as a girl, I may have the best education. And he was a rich man, so we didn't lack anything. Actually, my home was an extension of the agricultural institution in my village. They used to come to see the cows, the pigs, the chicken, the farm. It was the update. It had everything: fruits, ngwashe, mihogo, miwa, everything was in that home. So my villagers, the people in the village, used to come, and at that time we were very generous. I think that time you could come into our farm, you could get everything you need in terms of food, and you go without paying. There was nothing was denied. That's how I grew up. I was a very hardworking girl. I remember when we used to close school, you had to dig in the coffee plantation. We had 6 acres of coffee. You are given a line of 60 lines, 60 trees. You finish, then you'll be given permission to go to Nairobi to visit our elder brothers. So within 2 weeks, I finished the 60 trees. And you can imagine it's digging. I was very hardworking. We could go to the farm from 6 to 7 p.m. at night. And we would eat in the shamba. There is no time to go home and have food. So it would be brought at home, at the house, in the farm. You eat immediately, you go back to. I could milk 4 cows in the morning at 3 a.m. in the morning, and by 6 I'm on the road because my high school, I was in a day school, going for 5 kilometers from my home to school. And there are rivers which has no bridges. There were this miti biri, muna kanyanga. And sometimes you are leaving school at night. And you have to go through
that bridge for trees.
For trees. And there were hyenas. Yeah, we used to hear, ooh, ooh. And you are alone.
Eish.
Because the others are on the other ridge. We don't come from the same ridge. In Nyeri, everything is healing. Yeah. I also, my 2-year older sister from me, she gave birth when she was in Form 2. And she left the baby at home. And she went away for 4 years. I'm in high school. I'm taking care of my sister's child at night. And in the morning, I have to go to school. And it was chaos. I started taking care of children when I was in high school. It brought a lot of confusion. Other girls are going to have is a time going to see the boyfriends. Me, I'm going home to take care of my sister's child who gave birth and left the child at home. I hated her.
You can forgive her.
Yeah, she passed on, so I had forgiven her.
Okay.
That is my background about alcohol. I passed well in Form 4, and I got a job with the post office as a telephone operator.
Wow.
And I decided not to work near home. I told them to post me to Nakuru, far away from home.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, I wanted to leave this home and then never come back. I hated the background and everything. And I did exactly that. When I was in college, I met this very handsome and very promising man in the post office. He was a technician. And yeah. And I thought, I told him I would not marry somebody who is drinking. And for sure, he didn't drink for 2 years. But the very day I gave birth to my firstborn, he went celebrating. And he didn't come back for 4 days. And he came home and asked me, kwani umeza?
Oh, he left you with a baby when
He
you
left
gave
me
birth.
the maternity
Ah,
that I have given birth.
okay.
That time I was working in Naivasha.
And he went
He
to...
went celebrating. He didn't come back.
So for him, stopping drinking, it was part of dating.
He used to drink, I hear, but he never came. We were not living together as such. I was working in Naivasha that time, and he was in school at a college in Nairobi.
Okay.
So he would come over the weekend or at the end of the month.
And in dating time, he could not show you that
He didn't
he's
drink. He didn't show any sign.
Okay.
So I thought I had gotten it. Until when I gave birth, now I got another picture, which did not bring a very good... I lost hope. And I was so disappointed because I had a boyfriend in school who never drank, and he has never drunk up to date. And I left him for this drunk who would prove to be a disaster. I was so disappointed.
Oh, sorry.
And, but because of now giving birth, now things had to change. I had to adjust. And the very day I went to his home to be introduced, I found that that time the brothers were not drinking as much. they didn't show a sign of
Drink.
alcoholism. But later, I came to realize that the same way my uncles, my aunts were drinking at home, the same way that this family were drinking, but in hiding that time.
Wow.
We say alcoholism is a progressive disease. So in the early days, you will not notice there is something wrong. But after some time, you realize, I came to realize that it was not all losses. There were so many underlying problems. Before he even left college, he stopped working with the post office. He went for teaching college to be a teacher, a technical teacher. And before he even finished the 4 years in college, we had a fight. And again, I had said that I would not marry somebody who fights. And I had already given birth to a baby boy, so I could not leave him. I was caught up in this mess. And I became so worried why I had married him. And I was told by everybody, you cannot change. You have to stay there. And you have to work yourself, to work very hard to make this marriage work. Yeah, in Catholic we say that once you marry, there is no divorce. Until death you part. And then my mother-in-law was, she had 10 sons, and they all drank.
Oh my.
So I never found my father-in-law drinking because he was diabetic. He had stopped because of diabetes. Also, my father stopped drinking at a point because he was diabetic and he was advised to stop. And they stopped. So I never saw my father-in-law drinking. But my brothers-in-law, even up to date, they are drinking. Now that is the disappointment, that is my background. I said I would never drink. And up to that point, I had not drunk. Even at that, with the parties, we used to have so many parties, I never drank. I said I would not drink. Until now, one day, I gave birth to my second-born son.
What?
After 5 years gap from my firstborn to my second-born. And we went for the first year's birthday of my son. I used to take him to the bar to keep him company by orders.
Okay.
And then not even by orders. When he would go alone, he would be hijacked by the girls, the women, and he would not come home.
So you
You
could also go to protect.
So to bring him home. So one day, that day we went for first year's celebration of my second born. He put something in the soda when I had gone to the toilet. I didn't know. We were in a table and they discussed, let's put something because this woman makes us go home very early. He gets bored.
Okay.
Yeah, so I drank. And I felt different. Whatever it was, I just felt different. And that it just started. I just found myself wanting that thing I took.
So you started.
The next, I think, 2-3 months, I could take myself to the bar. And this is an everyday thing. Money was not a problem. He had a lot of money. Our salaries and our friends, we didn't have problems with money. And we were also very social people. So the people who knew us would always want to be in our
Closer to
company.
you, yes.
And our company was always in the bar. If not in the bar when we are bored, we are in the church.
So if there is a shortage of money, friends has money.
Friends have money. And even when there is a shortage, the barmen knew that we have a salary at the end of the month. And you bring everything. Actually, I remember my father-in-law used to give us milk free. He used to bring us eggs from home. It was near. Now we had shifted to Thika. It was near his home. So we would get everything from the farm. The waru, the cabbages, the avocados, the fruits from the farm, the chicken, the meat from the. He was very generous. He would slaughter a cow. So we had everything from home. So what do we do with our salary? We just drank. Just drank.
Now there's someone there who is asking, what was this thing you drank for the first time? Can you recall it?
I don't know what I drank the first time, which was put in a soda. I think it was, we used to have whiskey then, or wine. But I think it was whiskey because wine is not mixed with the soda. Wine is drunk like dry. But the whiskey
can
mix. But now, a few days after, I liked exports. There was a small bottle in green, which was Tusker Export. That was my favorite. And it used to come in doubles. But within 3 months, I could take 12 or 13 exports in a sitting.
And now, where is this mind of yours has gone? How has it disappeared that you won't drink, you don't want to drink, you don't want beer? So it's disappeared completely from you so that you went ahead taking beer.
Once I joined the club of drinkers, now even my husband, I forgot about keeping him company. Now it's to drink, to go out to drink. That time we used to work up to 4:30. There was a beer called after 4:30. After 4:30 you are allowed to drink. That's what everybody did, I thought. We were in exchange, telephone exchange. That time there were no mobiles. We were operators. And if you want a free call, you buy me beer. So we had so many friends, especially those people whose family members were abroad.
Yes.
And they need to call their relatives. You buy me beer, I give you a free call. Now, how do we operate? And we have supervisors in the office. We buy them beer. So everybody became
A beer person.
Even my boss would know that if he is in my company, he'll get free beers. And then that's how we brought down the telephone
the company.
The company.
Wow. So that's how you finished the company.
That's how the company came down. Everybody became a beer, an alcohol user. And I lost friends who could not drink. They were no longer interesting. So even the people, my best maid, she didn't, in my wedding, she didn't drink. So I dumped her. I picked the company of drinkers. And we didn't only drink. We did all sorts of... I was not very good in prostitution. So I never used to do prostitution. But I would sell girls for money to men. And with the time I became a supervisor. Actually, I became a duty roster officer. And if you want to have duties, we used to work in shifts. If you want to have a good shift, or if you want to have a shift with the, what do you call it? Money after, what do you call it? You want to have overtime?
Yes,
You have to
like
buy
extra
hours. You have to buy me alcohol.
So that you can...
I can allocate. Yeah. If you want to work, I remember one time I was so angry with the staff. I made him work for continuous 16 hours because he had annoyed me. And for those people who are drinking, at the end of the month, they would go off. I would give them off.
Oh.
And for people who are not drinking, they would cover the people who are drinking.
So you are giving them
I could
favor.
make sure that the people, the club,
they will get an off so that they can drink properly.
But believe you me, at the end of the month, they are the ones who are having more money for overtime, which they didn't work. I gave them hours that they worked. And these hours were worked for by the people
who are not
drinking.
Oh.
And they shouldn't complain because they are also earning. I would give them their dues properly. But at the same time, those people who did not come to work, I would give them overtime. So there is this double.
So there were appreciation for drinkers.
Yeah, and I'm in charge. In fact, one time I was given this sheet in the bar to sign the people who are not working that they worked in the bar. And for people who are not working, the people who are working, I would decide their overtime in the bar. And my boss would approve in the bar. It was a beer state. It was a beer country.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was worse.
So my boss, the head, he liked me. I don't know why. So he used to allow me to do whatever I wanted to do. So I decided, my husband was a technical teacher, and it happened that the school, the technical school, they offered accounting, and I was bored with the operation department. I wanted to do more. So one of the directors in the bigger company of the post office, we happened to drink with him. And he one day told me, in time you'll not want this operation work. You better do accounts, and you are good at it. If you are doing duty roster, and I can see how you are arranging your accounting, you are better in the accounts. Can you go for accounting course? And my husband's college, no, it was a technical school. It offered accounting. So in the afternoon, I could go at 5 to 7 for accounting college.
Awesome.
So for me to be a good accountant, I had to forego my days. I had to have time to go to school, and I'm also working. So at one point I told my boss, I want night duties. I am drinking, I am doing accounts, and I'm also studying, and I'm a mother. Now I am a mother of three boys. So I can imagine, I'm drinking, I'm a mother, I'm working, I'm doing accounts.
And you want night duty.
Yeah. So there is a span I did night duty for me to go to school, and I'm also taking care of my boys, and I'm also taking care of my husband. That journey is very tricky, and I'm drinking. So my boss decided that, or they decided, during daytime when you are in the office, you are not going out, because when you go out, you come back drunk.
So you could leave the office and go to drink?
Yeah. So he would lock the door. And he was not clever. And we were in third floor.
Imagine.
So we said, he locks the door. He's not clever. One of the ladies who had left her husband because of drinking, she thought that this man is preventing me to drink. Why don't I ask for a transfer to Thika town, where my husband is not? She was clever. She used to come with the quarter whiskies, and she would stuck them in the toilet cistern. You see where the water is? In the toilet. She would stuck them in the toilet. And you are in that floor. So when you go to the toilet, instead of doing your business, you are drinking and sitting there. And you come out struggling. And one day I was asked, how do you came in sober? Now you are drunk at 10 o'clock. How did you get the alcohol? I told them, my boss, that it's the tea girl. She had put bangi in the tea.
Oh,
And she was warned. And
was sacked.
Yeah, she was given a warning letter. And that did not bother us. So next time, the girl is not bringing alcohol, and we need to drink in the office. And we are on that floor. But the next door, the next building is a bar. So we call the barmaid. We roll down the basket with a rope. She puts alcohol. We bring it. In a government office, in the post office.
So you could use all means.
All means of getting alcohol. All means. Later on, I went to accounts department. Now it's a bit dull. So I slowed my drinking because I wanted to accomplish my accounts college. I didn't drink much, but any opportunity I would get or any anger issue I had with my husband, any fight we would have with my husband, I would drink no matter what. So I had a very good maid. Now, because of my drinking, my husband's drinking, my health and my hygiene and my eating patterns. When I'm hungry, I drink. When I'm ugly, I drink. When I'm happy, I drink. When I'm disappointed, I had to have a reason to drink. Now I'm not washing my body because I'm drunk. Because you don't have to go to the bathroom because it will bring
To really waste
health.
your time and
health.
and
Water with a drunk. And also my husband was not washing. Why should I wash? He is a teacher. I'm now in accounts.
You are not washing
We
your
are not
bodies.
washing because everybody is not washing. So the maid, she could take us to the bathroom. And I would pay her double salary. Because she is taking care of my boys. She is also taking care of my husband.
And yourself.
And she was also taking care of me. She was overall. She was a manager actually. I used to pay her double salary to take care of my boys, to take care of me, my health, my hygiene, my duties, to wake me up, to go to work, and also to feed me.
Oh,
She was a very good maid. And also to take care of my boys,
imagine.
to feed them, to wash them, to take them to school. My work is to go to the office because I have to, for the money to take to the bar. So I'm working for alcohol.
Now, here on our channel, we normally invite people to talk about parenting, taking care of families, dating. We have passed that. But how were you related to your children?
Did I have a relationship with my children?
How
My was
were you taking care of them? How were you bonding?
I didn't have time for them when I was drinking. But because of the society, when I'm not drunk, I'm a very good mother. And because we had money and we have a position in the society, money used to work for us. Very good on Sunday, holier than thou, going to church, going for baptism, going for social gatherings. But emotionally and socially, we are not, I was not there.
And now, because you want people to run from your testimony, has this thing affected your children?
Very much.
You can,
Very much.
can tell us.
Now, my boys, I have 4 boys. Actually, the fourth one did not see me drinking, but the third one, my boys were premature. It is only the firstborn who was not premature. Secondborn was premature. I was not drinking then, but the thirdborn, he saw me drinking. In fact, when I gave birth and I was drinking, when I was pregnant, the day I came home, my husband brought me Guinness. It's good for when you are in recovery from giving birth. He brought Guinness. So I remember he was premature. When I came home, I drank. I couldn't take myself to the bedroom. So the maid was to hold the baby to suckle in the table room because I couldn't struggle to the bedroom. And they suffered. They were in a lot of fear because when we drank, we would fight a lot. And the maid was the parent. She's the one to organize whether the children will go to school, how they will go to school, whether the children would eat, whether the children would even I think she used to go to the as a parent to school.
Now, when parents has money, we normally see them celebrating birthdays for children.
Parties. Every month we had a party.
Because of drinking.
Because of the drink. And as Kikuyus, goat eating. My husband was a generous man. So we used to have parties. And my sisters liked partying. So they would come to our house. We would slaughter. We would have alcohol. It was a party.
So it wasn't just a party, but an opportunity.
Opportunity to bring alcohol.
That's what I see. It was an opportunity now for official drinks.
And we would invite people who drinks. People who don't drink, you have no business. We did our wedding after, I think, after I had given birth to my second born. And during our wedding, I don't remember much because we are all drunk. Me, my husband, the maids, the everybody. So we fight.
On the wedding day.
We fight before the wedding, the day before. We fight during the ceremony, the evening ceremony, and we're on our honeymoon. I remember another story. I remember when we went for our honeymoon, we left children at home with my sister-in-law and the maid. We went to Malindi. I had a cousin there who also had a bar. So he gave us that allowance, a place to go for our honeymoon, to see the world. We never saw the world. He slaughtered a goat. Actually, my cousin, I'm named after his mother. So he had a lot of respect for me because I'm his mother. And he had a bar. And he said that you are going to leave this home when you finish that goat. We like eating goats. And alcohol was given, it was everywhere. So we were going to Lamu one day, and we boarded a bus. I had not taken Unazi, the coast.
Nazi.
So we went because we wanted to drink. On our way to Malindi, to Lamu, because of the drunken
Drinking habit.
Ngalo, the last, we dropped. We left the bus in the middle of our way to Lamu, and we went to straight to the village, and we found Mzee drinking Munazi, and we drank.
The bus left.
The bus left, and it left us in the middle, and then we drank. Then in the evening, the same bus came and it took us back to Malindi. We never went to Lamu. That was the end of our journey to Lamu. At least, when we went back, we didn't know what to say, and we didn't have a reason to explain. It's our honeymoon. We continued drinking at Malindi with my cousins. That was another. We continued. My sister used to live in Mombasa, and my brother. We continued drinking for the next, I think, we stayed for 80 days. Drinking, partying, drinking, partying. Actually, my husband's wedding ring, he threw in the ocean in Malindi. The wedding was over, so you throw the wedding ring. And he commanded, I have to keep my wedding ring. He commanded. Actually, I gave to my third-born son after he died.
Oh.
That's the time I gave out my wedding.
So he did it intentionally, willingly.
Yeah,
He threw
I
it.
don't know. It's the alcoholic. It's a alcoholic maid.
Oh.
I don't know.
But he removed it
He
and
threw to the ocean, and he commanded that I have to keep my ring. So my husband liked women, so
so he didn't want
he
any
didn't want
sign
any
that
sign
he's
of-
committed.
and he could not stay with one woman.
It is an interesting story and journey. We see you in honeymoon after your wedding, which was full of drama. And you can ask, why did you have to do a wedding and you are in a home which was full of drama?
My wedding was a continuation of partying. We decided that we need a bigger party. So we do a wedding. And then our wedding was, our friends are doing a wedding. So we also do a wedding. Yeah.
So it wasn't,
It was a
something.
drama. It was a sarakasi.
it was another
It was-
drinking opportunity.
Yeah, it was not a ceremony as such that, and I also wanted to own my husband, and he also wanted to own me. Having that certificate was important, and him being a womanizer, he had so many women, so I needed to have a title. I'm the head of the women.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's the story make me.
So after we have come from the honeymoon, we continue fighting. In fact, our wedding, our marriage ended when we wedded,
Oh.
because our marriage, I don't think it had any substance after we did our wedding, because the violence, it became too much, and I think in 3 years we had separated. We wedded in 1985, and by 1989 we had separated, and I went to live in his home, in his father's home, after separation. And he was left at the school, which he lost the job immediately after. Actually, not losing the job. He abandoned the job. He absconded. And that's when now I had, because of the separation now, I'm in a lot of shame. I don't have money, and he stopped now paying for my drinking. He used to go from bar to bar to ask if there is a bill left. And that's the time now I started slowing down. But that did not, if I would get somebody to buy alcohol, I was not the kind of a person to go asking for favors in the bar. I was somebody who was very a lot of pride. So we come, I give birth to my third born, who is also a boy, and we continue fighting. So this priest, one of the priests, asked me, but this is not a marriage. We had fought. And he told me, I think you need to separate because either you are going to kill each other, one of you, or you kill the children. I remember one day, my husband comes home and the third born is about 6 months. And he decides to hold him with the legs. And he is very drunk and he is holding him at the back. He is swinging. You can imagine a mother seeing a baby being swung by a drunken person. I still feel, and there is nothing I could do. He is the father. So we go home to his home. It was near Thika town, and that time I've shifted from telephone operator to telephone accounts. Now I'm serious. I'm also doing accounts. I'm continuing my CPA. And the part that made us stay in the bar is the stealing. I used to steal. I could, now I'm in accounts. And we are in a telephone accounts where the bills come. And most of the Wahindis, they don't like paying bills. So we would shift my bill to your bill. We could transfer the telephone bills from this Muhindi to this person or this company. And then nobody would question because, see, the boss is also drinking. So he would approve. I remember we have separated. So I have a reason for wanting more money to take care of my boys. In our Kikuyu culture, you go with all the boys when you separate. You take care of all the children, even if they are 10.
Mother is the one.
Mother is the one to go with the boys and the children.
What about ladies? If they are ladies, not boys, girls.
No, those are children.
Or the children.
You go with the children.
You leave man.
You leave the man to go
alone
to get other women.
Okay.
So I had a reason to steal. I have to take care of the boys.
The salary wasn't enough.
The salary was not enough. And then the loans. We had a lot of loans. So I'm stealing from right, left, center. I've thrown down with the drink. And then I was kicked out of my matrimonial home for personal reasons, for not misbehaving as such, but in an alcoholic environment, you have so many reasons why you should be kicked out.
Yes.
One of the brothers said that I misbehaved. And this is not because I misbehaved, but they thought that I'm not good for their brother. So I'm kicked out. And then I got pregnant for the fourth born. And my husband said, because you are giving birth to boys, you are no good. You go. Actually, he saw my son